Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the Lord once again for this beautiful time wherein we could look into the Word of the Lord together. And continuing on our series on the Lord's Prayer, in my last video I spoke about our Father and how God is our Father, and it is a privilege for us to call God our Father, which is not accessible to others other than those who trust and believe in His Son, Lord Jesus Christ. And today, as we move on to the next part, who art in heaven, the first thing we learn from that is heaven is a real place. Heaven is not just a feeling or a fantasy or a mythological place used to discipline or teach children to be morally good, but heaven is a real place. It's the home of the Creator of the whole universe. And whether one believes in it or not, it makes no difference. If it is there, it is there. It's much like this. If there is a blind man and I tell him that something called the sun exists, which radiates heat and light, and the blind man chooses to say that, no, I don't believe in the sun because I cannot see the sun, it would have absolutely no difference on the sun. It would only have difference on the blind man. Similarly, whether I can see heaven or not, if it exists, it exists. And whether I believe in it or whether I disbelieve it, it makes no difference. If it exists, it exists. The only difference it makes is on how I'm going to be living and where I'm going to be storing up my wealth. This also reminds me of what Billy Graham once said. He said, "My home is in heaven. I am just traveling through this world." It very explicitly reminds us that if our Father resides in heaven, and if heaven is the home of our Father, then where is our home? Obviously, our home is in heaven. We're just traveling through this world. And this also reminds me of what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 21. "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." We should not put all our effort and all our strength into building up or storing up treasure here on earth, but rather in our real home, which is in heaven. Now the choice is in front of us, whether we want to store up our treasure or our wealth on this earth, which is temporary, or we want to store up our wealth and treasure in heaven, which is eternal. So the choice is again the same, whether we want to pour out our sweat and blood and time and energy into accumulating wealth on this earth, or spend that same energy and same time and same sweat and blood in storing treasures in heaven. And today, as we remember 9/11, the attacks on the Twin Towers, it all the more reinforces what Jesus said: do not store up for yourselves treasure on this earth, because it is temporary, it's insecure, it does not go with us once we die. God be with you, God bless you, and God help you in making the right decision. Because where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.